Honorable members, rather on again a sad note, we lost our former Minister of Works and Transport, Dr. Monica Azuba Ntege, who died on 21st April 2026. The deceased served as a minister between 2016 and 2019. The deceased leaves behind a remarkable legacy in engineering and public service. On behalf of Parliament of Uganda and on my own behalf, I convey our heartfelt condolence to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, to the bereaved family, the engineering fraternity, to the people of Busoga and all the Ugandans. May we rise and observe a moment of silence.
May her soul rest in eternal peace.
Members, thank you. I wish you good deliberation. I know most of the members are coming. The rain is much out there. But I'm happy to see Jonah in the house. Thank you. Yes, Jonah?
Madam Speaker, I'm rising to react to your communication on the first guidance you have given to our side on the need to bring to this House all the reports of the Public Accounts Committee. I will relay that information to the respective chairpersons and ensure that those reports are laid in time. Secondly, I want to also from your left side join you and Ugandans in mourning the late Honorable Minister, Engineer Ntege, whom we had the opportunity to be with in this House. When she was the Minister of Works and Transport, I was a member of the Committee on Physical Infrastructure, and we enjoyed working with her closely. One of the memorable contributions, if I recall, was the revival of the Uganda National Airlines. She was the minister that led the government side in making those proposals to this House. We had very interesting debates then, so I convey my heartfelt condolence to the family and pray that her soul rests in eternal peace.
Thank you, Lord. Honorable Betty.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I also joined Parliament in mourning the late minister, the late former minister, and maybe to observe, Madam Speaker, that we need a clear policy on how this House mourns the people who passes on, that if one of us is no longer, is not in active service, but that person has ever been, say, a minister or a member of this Parliament, how does this House handle such a matter? That in the future we may need a clear policy about it. We are so grateful, for example, by the way you handled the matter concerning our late sister. I'm going to join colleagues. We are now at church, but we are so grateful by the assistance you gave, the session that sat here to mourn her, and I would wish to see similar, a similar thing extended to other people. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Betty. Honorable Betty, for the sitting members of Parliament, there is no doubt that we will always honor them in the House because it's provided for under the Parliament Administration of Parliament Act. That is within our preserve. Maybe the other, let me find out from government.
Madam Speaker, I wish on behalf of government to equally join Parliament in paying our last respect in terms of condolences to the family of the late Minister of Works Emeritus, the Honorable Engineer Azuba. I did indicate earlier on, Right Honorable Speaker, that government through cabinet is already handling the issue of the proposed law on granting official and state burials to the VIPs in different categories. I equally informed the House that in the absence of that law, which is still proposed law, which is still before cabinet, we are using the precedent we have set, the practice we have set on the specific case of the Honorable former Minister of Works. His Excellency the President has invoked his powers under the Constitution, where the executive authority is invested in him or her, and he has directed that the Minister Emeritus of Works be granted an official burial. This morning, the Minister for the Presidency with the National Organizing Committee will be meeting the family of the fallen Minister Emeritus. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think we don't want to burden the President every now and then to be issuing selective official burials or providing some specific benefits to other people. What Honorable Beta has raised is very important. How do you manage people who have ever been in Parliament or some offices when they pass on? Let me give an example of Bank of Uganda. Bank of Uganda, when you are an employee and you retire, they will treat you until you die. And when you die, they will bury you. So why don't you also come up with a mechanism how members of Parliament, how government officials, if they pass on, how they are treated, even in treatment, because even the treatment is selective. It is very unfair for a member of Parliament who was here when he falls sick. They selectively say that one will not be treated. Others are what? Treated. Of course, for me, I'm not among those who will fall sick. But I'm just, God, I will not. There are very many colleagues of ours who are suffering out there. If you get them, you always sympathize. If you give him 20,000, you might think you have given him 20 million. So I want Parliament to come up with a better mechanism how to deal with colleagues of that nature. Thank you.
Still, let's finalize on that one, Katesh, before you come. Yes. Honorable Katesh, is it on the same?
Yeah, Madam Speaker, I just want to extend my condolences. The late Monica, ironically, was a very ardent golfer. So this house has lost two sports women. She was the president of the Uganda Ladies Golf Union, and until a few weeks ago, we've been having golf games with her. And so I want to join the House and the country in passing the condolences to the family, but also to the entire golf union, and pray that may her soul rest in peace.
Thank you. On the issue being raised by Honorable Nandala.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to add my voice on this what I would describe as the mercy of the President, the prerogative of the President to grant the official burial. Why I also insist that there must be a clear guideline, Madam Speaker. We were caught up in a very difficult situation in Lango when we lost His Highness Yosa Modurebi. The communication from government had told us that the government the president had granted an official burial. But when we went on the ground, you hardly saw the officialness of government on the ground, and it put a lot of pressure on the local organizing committee who are doing burial. So if there is category A, category B, category C, category D of that grant of official, it should be laid here so that we know in this case it is category C. The government only contributes maybe half or a quarter of the budget, because it's bringing a lot of problems for people on the ground. So I would like to ask that the government could clarify particularly on this, so that the pressures on the family and the local organizing committees and the conflicts that are usually arising out of such barriers could hardly be managed. Thank you.
Thank you. You have something to say? But maybe you could first respond to what Honorable Nandara was talking about, medical. Because we are talking about death. We don't want anybody to die. Let's look at issues of medical first. What happened with that law?
I'm sure the Chief Whip will conclude on this, but first I wanted to send my condolences to the family of the minister who passed on. She was an inspiration to many girls, especially those who are taking sciences, and we want to honor and recognize her contribution, especially as a Minister of Works. And when she worked so hard, I worked with her so hard when I was the Minister of State for Planning, in ensuring that we provide resources to revive the Uganda Airlines. And as a country, we shall miss her, and we honor her contribution to that. Regarding, I think, the issues of state or official burials and treatment of government officials, I think what remains is for you, Madam Speaker, to give government a deadline to bring this bill, because the bill is already in cabinet. So I think it's within your powers to guide government to bring this bill within a certain time, so that we close it. Otherwise, at the moment, as the Chief Whip said, it remains a good practice by His Excellency the President to come in the absence of the law. So we should be able to appreciate His Excellency the President for what he's doing, especially for the families that are...
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Honourable members, I will not direct government, because government has a legislative agenda. You are executive, and business comes from executive. You have a legislative agenda, please bring the bill if you deem it fit. Because what Honourable Nathan is saying, let's not bother the president all the time. There should be some things that we should be able to do without looking for the president. Like what Honorable Dur said, if it is category A, we are giving this person, this kind of person was a former minister, belongs under category B, like we have agreed as parliament, as parliamentary commission, that we support all those families with just a mere token of 10 million. A token of 10 million, that's what we've agreed. All the families, all the former members of parliament, if one passes on, or he needs that 10 million for treatment, that's what we can afford. Yes.
I think what you are raising is good. Parliament is doing something. And you see, the issue we're raising has an implication on the budget. So the person who can bring that is you. But also what we're trying to put up, Honorable Daudi, you must know that tomorrow it could be you. And the earlier you sort it out, because you don't need to look tomorrow. Right now you may be accessing the president, but tomorrow when you leave that office, you will not be able to what? Access. So you will be one of those who will work until you fall sick more. So we want you to really work on this as quick as possible. Madam Speaker, I'm sure you are getting letters in your office from one of the former leaders of opposition about emoluments of a leader of what? Opposition. I don't know if you have got them. I don't want to mention them.
Yes, I have got.
I don't want to say because I was one of them that I'm interested in that. Me, I'm not. But it is very important that once people... No. Yes, I'm entitled, but I'm not the one chasing it now. But the one who wants it more now are those who have left. Even maybe those families which or them have died. Because when we're passing that law, I think we're a bit selfish. I was here. We considered only the speaker.
Just a minute. When we passed the law and considered all the former speakers. And I agree with you. We should have put maybe another category of leaders of opposition or whichever. But that's food for thought. We can do an amendment to that.
Madam Speaker, we would love that law to equally include former commissioners of parliament. Yes, you are part of the administration
and former
of
government chief whips.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, the funeral bill being sponsored by the Ministry of Public Service was brought to Cabinet. Cabinet reviewed it and again sent it back to the first Parliamentary Council to do some bit of surgery. We have a standing rule in Cabinet that it is only bills whose principles are approved by Cabinet that should form part of the legislative agenda of government. Because in the past, most ministries would send on their list bills that are yet being conceived to be part of the legislative agenda. So once the principles of the proposed law that will highlight the different categories of leaders and what they are entitled to in terms of burials are handled in Cabinet, definitely the bill will come on the floor. Then the members of parliament will be at liberty to look at the different categories proposed by government. If there are categories that we feel we should include, then it can be included. But before the law is in place, I beg that we allow the President to continue exercising the executive authority. So it is work in progress. The bill is already before Cabinet. Once the principles are done, it will come to Parliament through the Ministry of Public Service. Okay.
Thank you,
Madam Speaker.
honorable members, and that's why I've told our members, let's protect our pension. I have seen members of parliament, former members of parliament, who are suffering. But when you get somebody who is earning just mere 2 million shillings out of the pension, the person is very, very happy. Very, very happy. Now, when somebody brought in a bill, was making a proposal that they want to get 50% of their pension, that people should be allowed to get 50% of their pension. I am sorry, members, we will not allow that. We should be able to differentiate between a pension and a circle. We should not do that. And then there is something that, Honorable Minister, that I want you to make a follow-up. Nathan, I want you to listen to this, because you have a lot of money in the pension. How can you people agree in a board that you're going to do an investment, buy a building in town, you don't involve other stakeholders? I am the biggest stakeholder. I give you money, 30% as parliament. Now, you only hear it from the news that we are buying. This money is not your money. These are pensioners' money. Huh? So I am the Honorable Minister. No purchase is going to take place until all the stakeholders are involved.
Madam Speaker, I strongly support your position that our pension should be ring-fenced from us, that we should also be assisted it should be ring-fenced from us, because from us and for us, because when we are still here, we tend to go a bit insane in facilitating our voters, that we forget ourselves. It took a strong stand to have our salaries as a no-go area for loans. Otherwise, if people had started mortgaging everything theirs and remaining with nothing on their pay slips. So, Madam Speaker, I strongly support you that you move to protect us from us in that direction. I also feel that it is quite unfair for the board to continue doing things on our behalf without your knowledge. But, Madam Speaker, the issue for which I was seeking information from the minister was about the formers who are still in service. I've seen the presidential, the ministerial presidency, ministerial policy statement with many former prime ministers as presidential advisors and earning a salary of up to 20 million, and also are we going to now to give them their benefits as formers when they are still serving us and drawing a salary from the consolidated fund? The same people. If I'm a former speaker and I'm now a prime minister and a minister somewhere else, will I be picking money when I'm still also serving as an advisor to the president, also fetching a monthly salary? I see the former vice president, the former prime minister, Mama Babas, all of them have now turned back as president's advisors. I want to be clarified on that.
Thank you.
Before the minister comes in, Madam Speaker, you have raised a very important point. And I thought that as a student of finance, I should amplify your point. When you are looking at investments, especially investing money for the circle, whose membership?
For the pensioners.
For the pensioners. You have to look at what we call the age liability profile. If you are going to invest into an asset that is going to bring, whose rate of return or payback period
the return
is
of investment.
Yes, is likely to go beyond the lifetime of the pensioner whom you are investing for, then it is unlikely that that person will benefit from that rate of return. Therefore, I want to agree with you that when the board are making decisions, they must be mindful that someone must enjoy his return in his lifetime. If I am 70-year-old and you are going to invest into a building that is going to bring return after 40 years, then it is not in my interest. Therefore, I agree with you.
But also, Honorable Katesh,
yes,
you first need to look at how many members of parliament have left parliament and are going to withdraw all their savings.
Yes.
Because when you're a first timer, you're allowed to take all your savings. So,
but, Madam Speaker, that's why there has to be a careful analysis of the age liability profile. At the same time, look at the lifetime of the members of parliament, especially in their positions. You cannot invest as if you are investing for an 18-year-old who perhaps has more years to live and enjoy his benefits.
True. Thank you.
On those things of annuity and what you are talking about investment, withdrawing a pension is at the age. That's why public service says the moment you make 60, you retire. Then they pay you your gratuity and your pension because they know you are remaining with very few years. So, Madam Speaker, I think also, as you raise the issue of investment, whom are you investing for in the building? Are you investing for the new members of parliament, or you are investing for the old ones, or and at what age?
Exactly.
And if you are investing for the old ones who are remaining with a very few years on earth, that building is not worth it for them. In fact, for them, what is worth it, a quick liquidity process like treasury bills, which are for 90 days, because anytime somebody can go, you need to pay his money. And also, Madam Speaker, when you raise that, those who are going to get 50 or less and whatever, it depends. if I have invested my money and I see the returns by the others in that law, that you are not giving me a nice return, I can say, please, I want to direct you, take my money to this X place where I'll get a better what? A better return. From what I'm seeing from the pension, the return we're getting, Madam Speaker, is not worth it. And the reason why it's not worth it is because they're investing in the treasury.
Procedure. I thought you are the ones who started that pension scheme. No. Yes.
Madam Speaker, we debated here and passed the Pension Act. We also have the authority to amend it if we so wish. And the pension is a very, very, very serious issue. Are we really procedure right, especially my brother, to want us to debate this important matter of pension in a very casual manner like this, when we have the opportunity to bring amendments, when we have the yeah, thank you. Are we proceeding well, given that we have the income tax amendment bill on the order paper?
No, Honorable Nathan, if you think it is not doing well, we'll get time and do that amendment. So for now, let's go to the next item. Next item.
Madam Speaker, it is fair that I also say something on this matter. Now, 2 points. One, actually 3. My first point, I can start with the building. I am a trustee in the parliamentary pension scheme, representing Ministry of Finance. We have been discussing this investment. Madam Speaker, apparently the law allows us to determine asset classes, and the asset classes are fixed income. We also invest in equities, and also real estate is also one of the allowable asset classes. But on real estate, we have been going slow. We have not, I think this is the first time we are considering making a decision to invest in real estate. But I must admit, in the first meetings I was attending, until when I became busy with elections, and after elections, the budget, so I have not attended the last meetings. What I can commit is that since we do this on your behalf, if you feel we should involve you more or go slow in paying or investing in real estate, we can come back to this decision. Madam Speaker, it is not late. My point 2 is on drawing a pension up to 50%. Madam Speaker, the principle of pension is that you save money to help you in old age when you are no longer working. So when you begin, first of all, even mid-term access was not correct. Then we go further and now seek to draw up to 50%. We would have defeated the objective of saving for old age, Madam Speaker. Now, finally, the pension scheme has its governing law. It's separate from public service pension, NSSF, and others. This one is governed by the Pension Act of Parliament. So it defines whatever we are doing in the scheme is in accordance with the law of Parliamentary Pensions Act. And my last point is that what Honorable Katesh is talking about, the laws, some laws may, laws define how to access pension differently. So like this one says, if you are a pensioner, we will pay you, if you are 45 and above, we will pay you for 15 years. Either you are 45, you are 60, or whatever. We will pay you pension for 15 years. Why do we assume like that? We assume that 15 years after getting out of parliament, within 15 years, you die. So, but if you continue, no, you don't, I can say your life comes to an end. So if you don't die, we will pay you until when you die. But the risk there, many will have died. The risk there is small. Those who will remain after 15 years will not be many and can be accommodated. Finally, Madam Speaker, let me undertake that I am going to immediately call my chairman, Honorable Inito Gwakajara, and also the CEO of the pension scheme, that it is a considered opinion of Parliament that we should study further this decision of investing in real estate. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Former.
Madam Speaker, I am happy that the principal legal advisor of government is now here, the Attorney General. In response to the matter raised by the Honorable Namboze, our learned friends keep telling us two things in law. That one, whatever is not prohibited by law is allowed. And two, that the law is interpreted as it is, not as it ought to be, or as you wish it to be. Now, on the subject matter raised by the Honorable Namboze, the law as it is allows the former holder of the office of Prime Minister, Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Speaker of Parliament, Vice President of Uganda, and the President of Uganda to enjoy the benefits and privileges that are under the law for the former holder of that office. That is the reason why we have a Vice President Emeritus who is enjoying the privileges of the office of a Vice President. He served as Speaker, is equally enjoying the privileges of the office of a former Speaker. He served as Deputy Speaker, is equally enjoying the privileges of the office of a former Deputy Speaker of Parliament. Now, that is the law as it is. Yes, because he is being paid for holding that office. He is a former holder of that office. So the law did not envisage the fact that if this person is appointed into another office where he or she draws his or her salaries from the consolidated fund, what must be done? So that is the position of the law. Until it is amended, they will continue to enjoy those privileges and benefits attached to the holder of those offices in their former capacities. Thank you.
Is that cleared? Madam, with your indulgence. We are not amending that law. Let's leave it as it is. Next item.